influencer stole my product and it was nothing I could do about it. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Moesha if you are new here. On today's simple video, I'm really going to tap into an experience that I had and that I overcame. Since the fire is definitely put out, I'm going to tell y'all exactly how I feel like an influencer took one of my products and did not follow through with their word, and how pretty much it was my fault. So first things first, this was years ago. I was brand new to the industry of print on demand, of owning a clothing business, a clothing brand. So of course, I'm just trying to do things that could get me the most sales, could get me out there more, can get me out there faster. And I did not know that you should put something in place, Moesha, that is not going to have somebody running off with your products. And I do. At the end of the day, I was thinking like, oh, well, we had this agreement. I'm thinking like everybody's good, everybody's great, that no one would do anything like that. And I was wrong. Not only was I wrong, but technically I could not do anything about it. Not legally, not physically, not anything. I could not do anything about this person taking my product and deciding not to post the product. I ended up taking it as a loss and just said, from now on, I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm going to put some type of contract in place. And in this contract is going to be details on details on details on what is expected. Even if you are taking a product in exchange for a post, that is still a done deal that both parties agreed on. So we will put some type of contract in place. Now, after almost 2 years, the influencer did decide to post the product. Even after I've reached out a couple of times about it, it was posted. But at the end of the day, that's something that should not have happened and has not happened to me since. Since it has happened to me, and since I don't want it to happen to you, I don't care if you're brand new in business. I don't care if you've been open one day. I don't care if you've been open 30 minutes. If you are operating as a business, you need to have some type of contract in place when you are collaborating and working with anybody, influencers, videographers. It does not matter who it is. It does not matter at all. At the end of the day, it is a business, and just assuming that people are going to do the job or do it right just because they said they are does not mean it's going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, we do not know these people. We don't know their motives. We don't know anything. We try to give them the benefit of the doubt. It just don't be working. So here's just some things that you need to put in place when it comes to creating a contract with any type of influencer, any type of content creator, any type of videographer, or whomever this is. These are some things that I put in my contract to move forward. Of course, this is your contract and it can be tweaked and pulled however you want to do it. Now, this is not any type of legal advice. Please don't take that and run with it. This is just some things that I have done that has worked for me, that has had me not to have that happen to me again. And if you need an actual legal person, you need to go to a lawyer to get this looked over and finalized, or however you desire to do that. But these are just a few things. And of course, y'all know I have my phone because I can't remember all that off the top of my head. So the first thing obviously is going to be the name of both people, the full name. Do not go with an Instagram, TikTok handle name. You can put that in the contract as well, because that is the name of their channel. That's the name of their page or whatever that's operating. But their actual full name needs to be on this contract. I mean their name on birth. Their name that's on their birth certificate needs to be on this contract. Your name, if you are operating, the business name need to be on that contract as well. Not necessarily your name, but you're operating out of your business. It needs to be fully on this contract. We're making sure that every detail is here, everything is correct. So both parties' name, correct and full names, need to be on the contract. Next thing that's going to need to be on the contract, of course, is the scope of work that y'all are doing. What kind of work is being done and the details of this work. When I say the details, I mean, are they doing a 5-second TikTok video? Are they doing a 1-minute TikTok video? How long is this video required to stay up? And you also need to disclose if you're going to take this product or take this content and be utilizing it for your own use as well. All of your emails, text messages, social media, that needs to be disclosed as well. I mean, from the T of what you expect out of this product and out of this video, out of whatever, even if it's a picture, needs to be disclosed on how you want it to be shown. Do you want this in the background? Can this not be in the background? How does the camera need to be facing? Because there has been times where people would post the product and then it's backwards. Like, you can't see the words on the item. You can't see anything. It's something that should be placed in there to make sure that they have understanding of what you desire when they are posting your product. At the end of the day, they are representing your brand, and you need to make sure that first that is somebody that you want to represent your brand in the best capacity. Also, when it comes to the scope of work, make sure that you are putting the deadline in there. When I first started, this is the mistake that I made because I felt like because I was given just a product in exchange for a post, and content does take time. It's not the easiest thing in the world to create content. It's not. And you're taking the time out of your day to post a video about someone else's product. So I used to think, oh, just because they're doing this, I'm not going to give them a time frame. But that is completely wrong. At the end of the day, that product did cost money, and they did accept that product in exchange for a post. Therefore, there should be a deadline on when you desire them to post, or you'll be in a situation like I was in, and I didn't give a deadline, and it took the influencer almost 2 years to post that product. So I'm going to need for you to put a deadline, whether it's 30 days. Now, I feel like you should definitely be reasonable about this. Doing 24 hours is just not reasonable at all. Usually, I would do within 15 to 30 days that I desire to be posted. It depends on what the goal is that I'm doing behind the scenes. If it's a product that needs to be pushed out or needs to be stated immediately, or something that's launching or coming out, then the time frame may be a little bit different. But 30 days is fine to me. Just depends. That's your opinion. That's what you desire to do. You have to look at the scope of what your goal is and what your business is doing based on the days. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a deadline in there. And when I say a deadline, a date, and I will even get so specific that I will put a time. You also need to be disclosing how many posts you want this person to do that you all have agreed upon, and the platforms that they're using. What platforms do you want to work with? Sometimes when people are doing a product in exchange for a post, then tell them to post on all platforms. It's just not ideal or realistic in my opinion, which it can be done obviously, but at the same time, I try to make sure that if I am giving this person a product in exchange for a post, that I am going off of what I am comfortable with as well as what they're comfortable with. And most of the time, telling them to post on their best platform is going to work anyway. So whether that's TikTok, that's TikTok. But at the end of the day, that we would take that post anyway and cross post to everywhere. So that is just completely up to what you all have discussed. But make sure that they know how many posts that they're doing, how long this post is going to stay up, and the deadline that this post should be up, or at least sent back to you so you can approve it first. The next thing that should be in your contract is going to be, of course, payment. Now, we've already kind of just brushed over it a little bit when it comes to payment, when it comes to sending these products to your influencer or content creator or whomever. Then you need to make sure that you are disclosing that you are paying them by product. And go so far as to tell which product this is. If you want to put the SKU number in there, go so deep into detail on how this person is getting compensated for what they're doing. And I put the name of the product. Sometimes I'll put the color, the SKU number, whatever. I will put that in there to say this is how they're getting paid to do X, Y, and Z. That needs to be in there, and you do not need to skip over that at all. At the end of the day, a contract is to protect you and the person at hand. And so everybody have a clear understanding. It's not something that to be afraid of. I have had people that did not, that I didn't work with because they did not want to sign the contract. But I completely understand that that's not a problem. At the end of the day, that's something that I would like to keep in place, and that I am going to always keep in place moving forward, because it's just something that's ideal to protect me as a business and a brand, and to protect you as a person as well, just in case at the end of the day, maybe you want to sue me. Maybe you see the video blow up. Like we really have to think about stuff like that. Maybe you see that the video goes extremely well, and then the sales go extremely well, and then you try to spin a block and sue me. But at the end of the day, you got to put those terms in place. It does not matter who, what, where, and why. If they're not comfortable with it, then you just apologize for it and say, hey, I'm sorry, maybe we'll work together in the future. The next thing that needs to be in this contract is content ownership. You need to be saying who owns this content. How are you going to use this content as the business, as the brand? And they need to know that you're going to be using this for your emails. You're going to be using this for your TikToks, all of your social medias. You're going to be using this for your text message marketing. You're going to be using this content that they have everywhere. You need to disclose the information, and not disclosing it is really doing more harm than good at the end of the day, because what will be the point of them even doing content for you if you're not going to disclose that? Of course, you're going to be using this everywhere. That needs to be be in there. The influencer content creator need to know that you're going to be using this product most likely in Facebook ads, most likely in Google ads. You're going to be using it everywhere, and they need to know that information. So before posting, this is something that I learned as well. Before your content influencer is posting the content, you need to make sure that it is getting approved first. That means that you need to also put in the deadline of them sending this product or this video to you for you to approve it to be posted, because just letting them post it and you have no idea what it looks like, no idea if it's up to your standards, no idea if it represents your brand, is really not the best way to go about it. And it's you're talking to somebody who has done it before, and just letting them just post and you want it a different way, or it was said to be done a different way in the contract, you can get a revision on it for how you want it to actually be done. That way it represents your brand in the best way that you desire it to be represented. The next thing is termination. This is really, really big, not only for me, but I know for so many people that sign contracts, is I want to know what's going to happen if I terminate this contract, if I terminate this agreement. Like, are there some type of legal things I'm going to have to go through? Like, is there something I want to pay back or anything? You need to put in there, if any party decides to terminate this, what are the actual effects of that? What's the consequences of either party terminating this contract? For me, once I put that if my influencer content creator decides that they want to terminate the contract for any reason at all, then I just say that they either have to return the product in the way that it was sent in its original form, or they have to pay for a price for the product, and everybody moves on with their day. But if you're being paid to do that, that's a whole different story on how you can go about that. But you need to put whether this can be terminated at any time or should it be terminated in a certain amount of days. That's something that you have to sit back and come up with on, can somebody step out of this contract immediately, and what are the consequences for them stepping out of this contract? The last thing, but it's definitely not last, is so many other things that can go in your contract, so I want you to know that for sure. But of course, everybody needs to sign this contract. Nothing needs to move forward, no products, no money, or whatever this is needs to be sent out until this contract is signed by both people. That's the business and that's the person you're working with, and that's that. Everyone needs to have their own copy. Everyone needs to have it filed however they want to do it. And if you even want to go as far, of course, as getting a lawyer to look over it, that needs to be done as well. But there's so many other things that can go into your contract. I promise it is. You just have to sit down and say, like, what are the guidelines that I want to put in this, and what is something that needs to be put into a contract for the purpose and protection of my business and the protection of the other person that you're working with at the end of the day. But if this video was somewhat helpful, make sure that you all are subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.